we're looking at actually is a combination between something that we believe is 19th century and something from the 1930s. So the object itself is a jade table screen, and we believe it's a 19th century find because during the 1920s, Cartier had already asked their colleagues, most notably Jules Glanzer, to go to Cathay, which was at the time China, Shanghai, Hong Kong, and there he discovered a whole new world of objects, new materials that Cartier had never used before, and in this instance, it's a found object, it's a jade plaque. It's actually not just a plaque, it's a table screen. So what they were used for at the time was a scholar would have it on his desk and he would use it as a means of contemplation because the jade would depict scenes of waterfalls, of nature, mountains, things that required contemplation and meditation. So on this particular one, if you look closely, you actually have a poem that's inscribed on the upper part of the table screen.
That's up here, right?
Exactly. So you can see the poem that he wrote that's inscribed on top. It's talking about the Fuping water cave, which is inscribed, which is depicted here on the jade screen. And I'm sure that Cartier had used these elements because they had a great cultural significance in Chinese history and decided to build upon this found object, as you can see with all these gemstones and the addition of the clock as well.
So they acquired this screen here together with the wooden stand,
yeah,
I suppose.
Exactly.
And then said, what can we do as Cartier?
Exactly.
So
bring it one step further.
There's two elements. There's these applied pieces. I think maybe we can quickly go through those. What are we looking at here in terms of design and in terms of stones?
Yeah, it's very interesting because Cartier obviously was looking for influence and inspiration from other cultures, but also they were using elements and objects from these other cultures. And in the 20s and 30s, they used some Indian boxes that they were just adding a clasp and selling it as a Cartier object. Here they took a dead plaque and added also some gemstones and, as we mentioned already, a movement. So you have really a very sculptural dragon carved in gold around the clock movement. And then you have carved gemstones, so like the three main ones, emeralds, rubies, and sapphires. And what's interesting also is that they use carved gemstones in the shape of a leaf, which was the Indian influence. Then Cartier went in the 1920s and discovered the use of carved gemstones, and they came back even from some gems from India and then started what was later called the Tutti Frutti style in the 1960s, but it's really what Cartier launched in around 1925. So here you have the use of the carved gemstones, but in a completely different motif. They are just like enhancing some of the motif on the Jade plaque. So you have the cascade here, the waterfall.
Tiffany, this is the waterfall that is mentioned in the
Exactly, it's
poem.
a Fuping water cave.
So here we have the waterfall, the famous Fuping.
Mm-hmm.
You have a willow tree here, like set with rubies and cultured pearls or seed pearls.
Mm-hmm.
And then here you have an additional trees also set with carved emeralds and seed pearls, and then a pagoda with a tiny little gold wire to enhance the motif.
So basically, if I get it right here, thanks to you guys here especially, is that we look at a antique artifact, a piece of really historical collectible jade, with of course its own story already, with the inscription, the poem, and the depiction of that wonderful landscape. And Cartier took it in the 30s a level up by enhancing it with their own work as jewelers and as watch and clock makers with this three-dimensional carving or gold sculpture. I just quickly wanted to turn around. Here it's even more three-dimensional. One really needs nice light to see those, the three-dimensionality. Yeah. Is that part of that poem and that these paintings?
Exactly. So I think you see lots of motifs throughout the jade table screen that really refer to elements that are really important in Chinese culture. And I think that Cartier was very mindful of that when they were creating this object, because already you have the dragon, which is a very symbolic and important part of Chinese culture. You have the chimera on the bottom here,
Here, yes.
on the carved wooden holder. And so the chimera is kind of a fantastical half dragon, half lion creature. In Chinese culture, it really represents power, good fortune. It's a mythical creature that really brings good things towards you.
So, as a conclusion, we can conclude with what we just heard. This is a unique item.
Yeah.
Because it started with a unique jade screen and its wooden stand, and then Cartier's work is quite certainly unique. You cannot add something commercial onto something unique. So we are looking here at a soon-to-be 100-year-old table desk timepiece, table clock, that started its life as a jade screen over 150 years ago.
Exactly.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you both very, very much.